Well, hello. So, my God, I know I hid the VC face UI. Why is it back? There we go. Um, oh, I also forgot to do something. I'll do it now. Um, Overlay widgets. Chat. Height. 600. Save. There we go. There we go. That's better. I felt the chat was too big. It needs to be wider. Let's that's going to be too wide. That's going to be too narrow. That's probably right. Yeah. Okay, let me oh, oh, sir. Chat. 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 No, there we go. There's the chat. It was getting covered up by his ears too much. There we go. Additionally, there's too much padding on this HTML. Please hold. Let's see. Main div. Margin 0. Where'd I put it? There we go. No, that's the padding. I want the margin. How did I do this? Max width, 100%. Content div list. There's a margin on that. Huh. Maybe I never did this. Maybe this is the code it came with. Let me see. Adding top 0.25 m. Does that work? No. Huh. I'm gonna have to figure out. Is this transform? Yeah, the transform's normal. I wonder if it's No, it's not OBS at fault. Weird. All right. Well, at any rate, this is something I'll have to get back to later. It's not important. Anyway, here's the important thing. Here's what we're here for today. Let me go and turn on these timers. There we go. Click that. I'm going to click that. There we go. Please look at the link in the chat. This is going to be a fucking disaster. I can already tell. But do please look at the link in the chat. There is a new web-based application that can be found at that URL, and I would like everyone to use it. It does not require a login. There is a silly little process you have to go through. You'll like it. It's very funny. Okay. Well, the cat jam works. We know this much. I'm super curious if this is going to handle... let's see. So it looks like it's already dropped one user. And of course, like in theory, God. See, this is exactly what I was curious about. Is I wonder if there's a couple people here I feel like theirs never made it into the system. The chat on screen is double posting. This is a thing that happens sometimes with Mix It Up. I'm not exactly sure why it does this. And it's probably something that it's probably something I should file a bug on, but it's inconsistent is the thing. Let me just turn off and re-enable the chat and see if that fixes it. Okay, yeah, I figured Pitarco needed to. Yeah, I figured you needed to do it twice. That's what it looked like. Oh, right. I think. Okay. All right. So by and large, it looks like it's working. It's the sort of thing where I figure that probably if like what we're doing here, if 1,000 people are hitting it, it's going to be janky. But probably if it's just like a once in a while thing, as people trickle in, it's probably fine. So anyway, If it's not clear what I've done here and why I did it, so you might be familiar. There's another website that you may have heard of called I think it's Twitch, Twinch, something like Twinge, something like that. Anyway, I hear it's very popular. I'm still I still want to go back to Mixer, but oh, interesting. Someone already registered that one. Oh, okay, so it did go in. Okay, well, let's see how that goes. Anyway, so uh, so Twitch has a whole bunch of features built in for all this shit, where you can have like redeems that have costs, and like when you're watching somebody stream, you're continuously earning bits. And then the bits can be spent on things. And they've got internal systems for this, and they've got rich APIs for connecting to external systems and all that. YouTube has none of that. None of it's built in. Now, if I were willing to use Twitch, I would not have needed to do anything. I could have just used their built-in systems, because you can participate, you can engage with them as much or as little as you want, to an extent. I mean, obviously the website is just irritating in its own ways. You know, it's going to run ads for it's going to run ads for, telling you to engage all their systems, even if the specific streamer you're watching doesn't care or specifically doesn't want you to. YouTube is irritating in just different ways, But in any case, I don't know why the messages are doubling. It's I can fix it by restarting Mix It Up, but unfortunately at this point, the amount of like damage that would do to, yeah, it would be really problematic. I don't know why. I don't know why it's doing this. It's like double. It's like Christian. You said your mods. You think I have mods? I have at most 100 people, and most of them either know me personally or like watch my YouTube channel. Like I don't have a problem with, like I don't have moderation. I don't have viewers. Strangers don't come here. So, in any case, but yeah, so I've considered like going on Twitch, and it fixed some problems. The bigger issue is just that I don't know. I don't know. It felt like fun to try and remake it myself. So that's the thing. I don't want anybody to find me, Sam. I'm not interested in having 20,000 viewers and having to deal with a whole bunch of shithead chuds being assholes in my comments. I don't want to need a bunch of moderators. I'm happy with people who already know me and are not interested in ruining my my stream. I've had a pretty good time on here, and it's because I'm not playing the game in the fucking in the established market. So I'm not having a bunch of jackoffs coming by and trying to sabotage me, and that means that I don't have to like stream on a because if I was going to have mods, then I'd have to stream on a schedule, and I don't want to stream on a schedule. I just do this when I feel like it. And if I was streaming on a schedule, then like I could get people to agree to be there at certain times. No, I don't want to do any of that. I'm not interested in playing that game. But I do think redeems are really funny. So I thought, what if I just build the redeem system myself? Because if it's going to be janky and broken anyway, why don't I just build my own janky and broken system, but one that I control? So the trouble is, there's just no mechanisms for this at all. Like Mix It Up is a really cool program, and it's got features for implementing a bunch of this stuff. But like, you're still fighting the feeling. You're still like very much swimming upstream. Not to say that they don't intend for you to be able to do this. It's a really tough thing to do. And so, God, I really wish I knew why it was doubling the chat messages. That is so weird. Because it's not doubling them in the client. Like, I have the Mix It Up client open on my other screen, and they're not appearing twice there. And, God, that is strange. Hang on a second, because, yeah, that is bothering me. Let me look at the chat settings. Add messages to top. Only one streaming platform is selected. Let me just save and output that. and then see. No, it's doing it again. So I think it's a lower level issue. I think it's happening at the protocol level. Let's see. Display on overlay endpoint. Yeah, so I think it's being received in the low level of the app. So like, I guess I could close it. Let me see. Now, did this fire up my now playing server? Yes, it did. Okay. So if I close this, here, I'm going to close this and reopen it. I know it'll fix it. It's just it's going to take a couple of minutes for it to reconnect. So part of the reason that I was super mad at fucking Streamlabs and the other one that I can't remember the name of is because the register command is for, well, you'll get a message in a minute here. The register command is for registering yourself with the web-based redeem system. It's good stuff. You'll like it. Anyway, test. Okay, so it's connected to the chat, but I suspect that it's not seeing chat messages yet. So yeah, part of the reason I got off of like Streamlabs or whatever the fuck it was called, I can never remember the name of the other one, is that I would start a stream and then for like 10, sometimes more minutes, it would just not connect. Can I sticky the site in chat? Is that possible? I don't think YouTube supports that. I mean, I'd be thrilled if it did, but here, let me run that. Let me click. Is there a stick? Oh, pin message. Oh. Oh, well, would you look at that? I didn't even know that was there. Haha, hilarious. Okay, well, anyway. Yes, that's right. It's Stream Elements, I think is the one I was using. That's, yeah, they're the ones who have the busted-ass OBS. I was not using that. So I tried both Streamlabs and Stream Elements. They both sucked. And one of the big problems is that, yeah, they would just sit there for like 10, 15 minutes not fucking connected to chat, and so nobody can see chat. And so if I embed the YouTube chat, then I don't get any of the benefits of using the Streambot. But if I embed the Streambot, then we just have random periods of just like, you know, big chunks of oh yeah, seriously, you can register anything. You can register anything you want. I don't have any sort of limitations on this. It doesn't like pre-validate to see whether you're putting in an MD5 that was actually generated by the system. Because like if you abuse my SQLite database, that'll just be mean of you, and please don't. Once people are assuming people get used to this and I keep it, I figure people will stop fucking with it. I did eliminate some like drop little Bobby tables type possibilities, but mostly I just think people won't be jerks because, again, I'm not dealing with the fucking unwashed masses, as it were. So there was a reason behind choosing MD5, and I'll explain it shortly. I will actually take you through a little bit of how the code works because I'm a little proud of it. Anyway, but yeah, so I decided I wanted to rebuild the system, but there's a number of problems with it, and one of them is that I didn't finish my previous thought. Sorry. Streamlabs and Stream Elements or whatever the fuck would take like 10, 15 minutes to connect to chat. Turns out that's YouTube's fault. That's all there is to it. That's the answer to that question, because Mixitup also has the problem, and I'm convinced if they could solve it, they would have, because the devs seem like they're really on top of stuff. So I think YouTube just sucks shit. Anyway, so I wanted to re-implement I wanted to re-implement this system myself, not in its entirety, but just enough that like if I'm gonna have redeems at all, which I would like to because they're funny among other things, then I would like to have people be able to click a button, right? But that introduces a problem because first, how do we get the message from a web page back to the client, back to Mixitup that's doing the bot stuff? Well, oh, by the way, restarting Mixitup did fix the doubled messages, so at least there's that. So Mixitup, part of the reason this is tough is because Mixitup is just an exe that runs on my computer, right. That means that it's sitting behind a firewall. You know, it's not connected to any online servers that'll reflect any messages for it, etc. Well, for the most part, anyway. Actually, Atheron, I'm surprised that it's not doing that. I thought that it did that automatically. Well, that's an easy thing to fix. course, almost everybody's probably registered by now, but let's go to commands back here. Register for redeems. I thought I didn't have to put the @ in there. Check for success. Praise chatter. Here, I'll put the @ in there and see what happens. Check for failure. Shame chatter. Save. All right. Let's see how this works. Yeah, it's weird. I had the ats in there originally, and then I got to a point where I was convinced that I didn't need them because I thought it was inserting them automatically whenever you called a username, but I guess not. Your balance is redeem error, and your did for balance, but not the error. Was there an error? Where's the error? Oh, there we go. That costs 512 KB. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I earlier I had a ridiculously high cost set for that so that it would well, but wait, but I Let me look at your user list and see what your balance comes up with. That says you have 2048. That's weird. And what are you trying to call? Was that Well, let me see. So if that would have been was that Cat Jam or Sadhorn, the two genders? The spaces are a complicated situation. Also, a funny thing is that I don't remember my own damn commands, so I keep having to look up to see how to give people kilobytes and whatnot. It was Cat Jam. Okay. All right, so I'm looking at Cat Jam. So set cost 512, check balance, redeem cost, shame user. Yep, and it's using redeem cost. That's an interesting problem. Yeah, I would need to make a bang help eventually. Why is that not working? Like, there is some notion that it might be upset by spaces, but no, because I was testing everything using a name that had spaces in it the whole time I was setting this up. So weird. And it's only for you. That is strange. Oh, you know what? So there is someone with just the plain name Emma, but there's no reason to think that it would match incorrectly. Well, okay. For the sake of conversation, let me give this unknown mystery Emma some money. There we go. And now try it again. Yeah. Thank you, Andrew. At least the TTS works. Okay. It is true that I could display balance in chat. I do think it's a little gauche. But at the same time, it's easy enough to set it up. So here, give me a sec. Chat. We go into... Is it easy to set it up? Oh, because it would be based on the it would be based on their, well, let's see. I can put it in the pronouns field. Yeah, let's do span class. So yeah, I think I would have to go edit the template files in the folder in order to make this work. TTS was silent in stream. Oh, interesting. Oh, right. Yeah, that's something I haven't changed yet. I'm altering how my sound input works in the program in OBS. So let me go over and edit Now that's interesting because, oh, you are double posting again. God damn it. Additionally, and this is interesting, it says I just redeemed Cat Jam, and I don't remember doing that. So either someone stole my account, which would be really funny. Oh, yep, there we go. Interesting. So, did someone pop my account? Let me think. See, fortunately, it's an account I control, so it's not much of a risk, but how did that happen? Yeah, there we go. Either that or there's there might be a bug in how the username recognition works. I do have a log. I'm keeping a log from all this, so let me go in and check. See, this is the thing, is I couldn't really test all this myself. I can certainly have all y'all do it. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, so the redeem log doesn't show any requests coming in for me. So it's got to be getting mismatched. Huh. That is really weird. Yeah, I was thinking about that I think I went through a lot of effort to try to set up these redeems so that they would work from both angles, both the chat and the website. But in retrospect, it does make the chat really messy. So maybe I put in too much effort there, and I should just walk away from the whole thing and just do it entirely through the website. Fucking vibe coded. Yeah, you want to know what vibe code? Okay, I fucking hate that term because it's just more smokescreen for AI. But to me, when I first heard it, I'm just like, yeah, I've vibe coded. Here, let me show you. And I've got in the code I just wrote for this, there's a line where I nil the UUID variable, and it just says in a comment, IDK, it just seems like a good idea. And it does seem like a good idea, and I have no idea what it could prevent. But it does seem like a good idea, and that's why I did it. That's vibe coding. Fuck this nonsense. Okay, so give me a second, because, yeah, we do have the really interesting question of nobody has popped my account. The requests coming in from the server are not coming in as me. Like, I have the log here, and it shows that they're being issued by other people. And so why is it matching against my username? Yeah, I think putting it all on the site seems like a good idea. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, and yeah, the one problem is getting the balance to getting the balance to reflect on the website's really tough. Or, well, not necessarily really tough, but there are some distributed computing problems that are difficult to solve, because basically I do not have bidirectional communication between these applications. Mixitup runs on my PC. It has an internal database that it's using to track everybody's currency. Then, in order to communicate with the app, the way this works is when you click a button on the site, it's firing off a request to a webhook, which is basically a unidirectional reflector living on Mixitup's servers. So my script on my web server, which is up in one person's cloud, sends a request to somebody else's cloud, and then Mixitup on my machine is constantly talking to the second person's cloud. So there's no direct communication between the two machines. Now, it is possible for Mixitup to run a web request against my server and to get data or send data that way. The problem is it can't do it in an event-triggered fashion. That is to say, if a message comes from one end, I can tell Mixitup to immediately send a message back to update it, but there is going to be a time delay there. And what that means is the AJAX request that fires off the play sound effect redeem cannot return with your new balance. That's impossible. So it's going to be, you click the button, and then within the next 2 to 3 seconds, your balance updates, which is fine for these purposes, but it is quite a complicated rigmarole going on behind the scenes to make that work. Well, and that's the thing, Cyrus, I think that it probably is it's some sort of hash collision, ID collision nonsense. The trouble is, what I'm not getting, what's really weird about this is, it's not like numbers identifying everyone. By the way, I think it's Hi who's responsible. HAI. I think they're the person who's showing up as me here. And I can actually go in and send a fake webhook message, I think, right? Yes. So here, if I go in and I send redeem type is Sadhorn and username is Hi, if I send that, nope, that comes through as you, which is interesting because dest value. Well, okay, so if it wasn't you, then who was it? Let's see. Because yeah, fortunately the program here has a little tool for sending fake requests. Well, again, no, it's not anything you have configured because I have a log here that shows the raw values that came in when the request was delivered down through the webhook. So I know exactly what was sent, and it's the same data I just sent here. Now, the only other person I saw requesting that name in that time period. Okay, that was Howard Day. All right, so I'm going to send another request from Howard Day. Oh, whoops. It would help if I gave it the right verb. Sadhorn, Howard Day, test. There it is. Yeah. So for some reason, oh, that is weird. For some reason, Howard Day is being interpreted as me. Oh, that is a weird fucking problem. I mean, the fortunate thing is I do have what's interesting here is that it can't be any kind of like behind the scenes fuckery with like oh wait, there's another person who I think got interpreted as me. Yeah. So I'm convinced this is not being caused by any sort of behind the scenes user ID or anything like that, because all of these are just plain usernames. It's just like, it's exactly what it appears to be on the screen. So if I send this one, yep, there we go. Richard Estes also shows up as me. So the reason that's happening is because the reason that's happening is probably because when the username is being sent down to the command that goes on to execute the rest of the action, I think that it's matching it wrong. For some reason, it sometimes matches as a valid user. Oh, wait a minute. I have a theory. I might know what's wrong. Could this be because... Nope, you are in the system as a user. You're both in the system as users. So it should match. And you're not even the same type of user. One of you is listed as a subscriber, and one's just listed as a user. I've been betrayed by one of you. Typing and clicking the action do the same thing. That does make sense because I'm using shared code paths for both of them. And it does occur to me that it may simplify things considerably if I just eliminate, as we discussed before, removing the chat triggers for this would be an option, and that would wait a minute. Cyril, did you actually... Oh, you did. H. Correct. Yeah, you could not double reg. So yeah, so let me talk about what's going on behind the scenes here because it's a little bit of it's a little bit of a fuck. It's a slight bit of a fuck. What's the best way to explain this? Hang on a second. We'll do a browser source. Yeah, fuck it. This will probably work. Here, let me put a browser source up here and see if I can interact with this. We'll do that, and then we'll do 1280 by 720. That's probably not big enough. No, it needs to be much bigger than that. Let's do actually 1920 by 1080 should work. Yeah, we'll just trim that a little bit. Yeah, I don't know why everything's showing twice. That's a bug. I'm gonna have to talk to the devs about that. They've been pretty responsive, I gotta admit. Like I don't blame anybody for not being responsive to prayers with projects like this, but yeah, I've been very impressed. Okay, let me see if I can remember. Let me see if I can remember how to diagram this out in my head here. Oh, and this assumes actually that I can. Wait a minute. Emma redeemed. Which Emma was that? Let's see. Is OBS going to let me interact with this reasonably, or is it going to be... That's you every time. So do I have a redundant... Okay, so I've got some user ID matching issues here I'm going to have to sort out. And like I said, that's something I sort of... I think I have some ideas as to how to fix that, which maybe I'll do on this stream. Actually, you know what? No, it's pretty easy to do it right now that I think of it. Let me go over to action groups. If I edit this one, let's do cat jam here. If I export this, okay, it exports it to a command. So cat jam test. Let me go over and replace the webhook command for this. Webhooks. Oh, shit, no, it's not going to be as easy as I thought because... Oh, no, I can import it directly into the... Oh, well, that's terrific. Okay. God, this program is pretty nice. All right, so we're going to import that there. Bonk, 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 bonk. Okay. Now we delete this. Okay, so now we set cost 512. Let me go get the... Where is the username here? Here we go. Ooh, oh, shit. No, there's still a problem here. I'm still going to have to use an embedded action group in order to pull this off. Okay, I can't troubleshoot this right now. Yeah, anyway, it is, you're absolutely right. This is very cursed. I don't know if I can adequately illustrate this, but let me see if I can, I'm just trying to think how to, visualize this in my head. Okay, fuck it. I'm just going to drag some diagrams around. So we got YouTube chat here, right? And then we've got my server over here, right? And then inside my server, we have, yeah, because I fucking remember what diagrams, yeah. Let's just pretend this is it. Data, space, base, okay? So we've got usernames over here. We got some columns. So we got username, and then we have UUID. Now, the UUID, that ties to a cookie that's stored in your browser, right? So the basic problem we need to solve here is that you have a user named asshat. Sorry, I have a user named asshat, but let's pretend you're me. So you're here in YouTube chat, right? Now, in order to let you send messages from my server to, well, here, sorry. Here we go. Yeah. So we actually have three machines. We have three different entities involved in this exchange, right? So we've got Mix It Up, we've got my server, and we've got YouTube chat. So in order for you to make your user do something, this is some random website I found called diagrams.net. I just grabbed it and threw it in a browser window. or in OBS actually. So what I need to do is Mixitup needs to receive a message from my server that says to tell it to do something on behalf of your user in YouTube chat. So I need to get your user into my server so that I have an entry here that's, like that, right? The problem is that while I generally trust the people in my chat, I don't entirely trust them, and there are a lot of very funny reasons to impersonate somebody else, and that'll just turn to chaos, right? So I do want to implement some level of security here. So I need you to prove that this asshat and that asshat are the same asshat. So what we do is we create a UUID over here, right? We start out with that. We got this UUID that gets generated on my server, all right? So now I give you that UUID. So now you have that in your web browser. The point here is that I have an identity over here and an identity over there. I need to make sure these are the same identity. And YouTube chat has limited your ability to masquerade as another person by putting you through Google's authentication system, right? So I trust that YouTube can prove that you're you. If a message comes from your account, I know that that is you, okay? There is a point of order to raise here. You might wonder to yourself, why not just use YouTube authentication directly? They have an OAuth system. I could put a button on my website. You click that, it takes you to Google, you log in there, you pick your desired channel you want to appear as, and then it comes back to my website and just gives me a token identifying your user ID. That is doable. The problem is that it's incredibly convoluted and bureaucratic. If you want, like, YouTube does not offer, all these companies, all these huge companies, Google in particular, who I swear started this bullshit, the whole idea of limited progressive permissions, where the idea is you start out by asking the user, hey, do I have permission to send text messages? And then if at some later date you need to read their text messages, that's a separate permission, right? So you can only ask for exactly what you need and no more. And that way the user knows, even if your program is malicious, they can have some comfort in the idea that it simply cannot access more than this limited set of information. Notably, this is a complete waste of fucking time because almost everybody who knows enough to do something with that information was not going to install sketchy software anyway, because come on, we all know the score. We all have a fucking seventh sense that tells us when a program is sketchy. This is what actually keeps us alive. But ignoring all of that, there is still value in progressive enhancement for security access. The problem is that none of these companies that profess to do this actually implement it. So while YouTube supposedly has several different data APIs, they're all marked with the same level of sensitivity, and they're all very vague on what they give you. So in short, there is no way for me to do this. It can't be done because it requires me to hire a lawyer, write a privacy policy and data retention policy, talk to humans at Google, etc. So it's just out of the question. So I was going to give up on this, and then I had the idea, well, wait a minute. You're already logged into YouTube, and you can take actions that I can see, so you can already prove that you're you. So what I do is, I thought to myself, okay, so you put the UUID in chat. Then Mixitup on my machine sees the UUID and bounces it to my server. And then all you have to do is say, yep, that UUID and my UUID match, so that's who I am. And in addition to this, it can also bounce the username along with it. So now I have them both married together in the database. So then all you do is click the button that says, check if my UUID has phoned home. And if it has, then the database comes back and says, are you asshat? And if you click yes, then these two get married together and shoved in the database. Problem solved. Here's the issue we run into. And this, somebody already figured out what the answer is here, but basically, okay, you put your UUID in chat. Well, there is a step in this process where you have to send the UUID to the server and say, yes, I'm that person. Well, what if somebody else in chat sees you paste your UUID in, and before you can go back and click the button, they go paste it in instead? Like, my UI doesn't allow this, but the behind the scenes data exchange, it's all just CGI scripts. It's very straightforward. They could absolutely do this, and one of you assholes would have figured it out already, and we would have chaos. So what I did instead is I made an MD5 of the UUID. So what happens is, in the database, we have 3 fields. We have MD5, UUID, and username. And when you hit register, or when you go to the page, it generates a UUID. It does not put it in the database. Instead, it gives you an MD5. So you go over here, you put the MD5 in a chat. That gets bounced through here and into here along with the username, right? So now we have a username and an MD5 married together. Now, you hit the button that says, check if this has phoned home. But you do it by sending the UUID to the underlying CGI script, not the MD5. See, if the script on the server that validates your user accepted the MD5, then somebody over here could just do a replay attack. But because they don't have the UUID, and that's what the script requires, and they don't know, they are not able to, looking at your MD5, come up with a UUID that would produce that MD5, because that's the whole fucking point of hashes. This means that you can safely, it's a public-private key situation, all right? I have given you a piece of information which proves that you know this other piece of information, but does not actually reveal that piece of information. No, it doesn't, because you don't have, I mean, do you have like 500,000 hours to spend in between when the hash gets posted in chat and somebody presses the button to register? And are you going to do that? And are you going to spend the money on the power to do that? And what does that get you, right? For this application, this is perfectly fucking fine. MD5 is, quote, easily reversible on the order of what? Hundreds of hours? Thousands? Yeah, MD5 is not insecure. It has technically been reversed, but like not in the length of time it would take to like for the user to go back and click the button. Besides that, I have an expiration date on I have an expiration date on all the database records, so you're not going to have time to send the data before it becomes invalid. The other things that MD5s are it's literally it's just a there are ways to break this fucking service. Like I promise, several people in chat here could probably go destroy these CGI scripts. Please don't. There, problem solved. I know nobody watching this is enough of an asshole to do that, so it's really not a problem, Even if you did, even if you find a SQL vulnerability or something like that, it's like, okay, thanks, you pissed all over the cool thing that I built. It's not going to get you anything, but I hope you had fun. Good luck with the feeling good about yourself tonight. Anyway, no, I'm pretty happy about it. Hang on a second. It did just occur to me, though, I probably should back this up. Routines. I'm just going to download the files. This consists of a loose assortment of Python scripts in a folder. Anyway, well, and the other thing is MD5 is a reasonably pretty hash. I think a lot of other ones are either longer or just don't look as good. I don't remember. But in any case, honestly, I could have fucking rot 13'd it and it would have been good enough. Like, the time it would have taken to unrot 13 it, unless you built a bot for this purpose, Yeah, I haven't put now playing on the site yet because I didn't build a protocol for it. I need to add another header to the JSON blob that gets sent down. I can do that now. Let me do that now. Here. Let's see. Action groups. I can't share any of this with you. Yes, the chat messages are doubling. I have no idea what to do about it. It's probably this is nothing against the developers of the software. They, like I said, they've been really decent to me and they seem like they really give a shit. But I really suspect this is YouTube's fault and that they just don't do that much testing on YouTube because, come on, let's be real. Every piece of streaming software that's out there, sorry, one moment. Why not match the YouTube account? Because I don't have the YouTube. No, I don't think it can identify them as a YouTube account. I don't think it can do that. It has usernames. That's it. That's part of the problem. I think that uh oh, right, that's what I was going to look at. Mix it up, YouTube chat doubled. But yeah, I think that all the apps that are out there that deal with this stuff, they're far more heavily tested on Twitch than they are on YouTube, and like, why not, right? Like what do you? That's the squeaky wheel. It's going to get the grease. I don't blame them at all. YouTube doubled chat. Let me just check their server. Interesting. Oh, here we go. Here's somebody who was actually on... Oh, here's somebody who was on Twitch and they were getting that. Let me look at there's a bug thread here. Let me see if they figured it out. Double check that these two options in the... Okay, shutdown source. Oh. So it might actually be the case that this is due to some behavior in OBS. Interesting. Here, one moment. And then go back to main here. Let's see if this helps. I'm going to type nonsense in chat. Okay. All right, so I think the new thing it's done is that it just... Oh, no, there we go. Yep, and it's doubling again. Yeah. You'll also notice there's problems like the severe delay that sometimes happens. And yeah, just... And then they said that... And this was like over a year ago, and then they said that it got fixed by a patch. So, you know... It's just sort of a thing. Oh, yep, here we go. Yeah, here's another person saying duplicate messages are solved by restarting the app, but if I make and save any edits, then it starts doubling them again. Oh, and it doubles them every time changes to state, so it makes more and more duplicates till the app is restarted again. That rules. I see what's going on there behind the scenes, but man, that's hilarious. Wait, so did Oh, okay. I was about to ask if y'all had just straight up broken it because I wasn't seeing register respond, but now I see it again. Oh yeah, here we go. Multiple messages will get sent if Mixedup detects multiple connections from a widget. It's not going to know if those are from the same widget or multiple widgets. So oh, okay. I might not have both of the correct options enabled in OBS to keep this from happening. Give me 1 second. Maybe I can fix this. Okay, so they're saying shut down source and refresh browser when okay. So I do have those both on, but let me hit refresh cache of current page and see if that's adequate. Bongo. Nope. Still fucked. Okay. So I might need to submit a ticket on this. It's weird because it doesn't initially have this problem, and it has not had this problem the last 20 times I fucked with this. I think it is because I edited the the chat view. Okay, so fuck it. I'm just gonna restart the bot again. Why not? That's what we're doing here today. We're fucking with the bot, so. By the way, let me start this again. I was also going to mention, you may have noticed that, thank you, Cyril. You may have noticed, or may not, let me go get this. Here we go. You may have noticed this. Oh, yeah, that is going to go away because I closed the server for it. Man, let's not talk shit on OBS, okay? Holy hell. OBS is one of the most impressive pieces of software I have ever seen in my life, and the the shit that they are pulling off with it is just unspeakable. They're up against incredible odds. Anyway, I was going to say, you may remember this media player here from such pages as such scenes as the intro scene for this stream, and I just wanted to boast about this because I made this myself. This is all HTML, CSS, and the rest of the getting started scene is bitmaps, and I'm probably going to change that now that I know how to make, because I've got a little CSS. I have a little CSS style sheet that can make many such windows. Oh, this isn't okay. Cool. The chat's actually frozen now. Oh, it's because I restarted the app and it's taking time to reconnect to this. I have the feeling that a lot of stuff will probably. I just jumped into this at like the wrong moment as far as the release schedule, and that like the very next release of the software is going to fix a bunch of stuff. It's probably a bunch of little weird edge. Oh, there it is. Okay, now we're getting single messages again. Delightful. Anyway, but yeah, this now playing thing pulls in data live from my media player, and I was proud of that. That's another thing I did the last couple days. An interesting question is, I wonder if it's actually debiting my account for those mismatched events. Let me go take a look at my balance. Okay, so I have 39,955. Whoever just did that sad horn, can you do that again, please? 39,995 is the 39,995. There we go. Okay, I'm sure it's going to be. Oh, wait a minute. Well, it hasn't updated yet. If so, that's interesting. That's really interesting. It's not debiting my account. So, okay, let me go in and take a look at the action group again, because maybe there's something different between. So the debit command is target username. Target username. Okay, now let's look at the praise command. Yeah, no, it's the same variable in both cases. So what the hell? That is so fucking weird. Like, why would it be correct in one place and then change later? Okay, let me put in a diagnostic file output command here. So we'll write out a log file. Append to file, logs. All right, and let's just do sadhorn.txt. Okay, and then we're going to save target user kilobytes, and we'll just leave it at that. There we go. Okay. All right. Can somebody please impersonate me again? And yeah, maybe it'll help me figure out what's going on with Emma as well. This is all right. There we go. So far, the chat's not being doubled again. I think that only happens if I modify the browser source, the chat browser source, while I'm viewing it. Oh, well. Okay. Well, there's the answer. Yep. Thank you, CDI Games. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. The TTS still doesn't come from the right source. Let me see if I can fix that. Here we go. Overlay widgets. Shit. How am I doing this? We go to events. We go to YouTube. We go to Super Chat. We go to TTS. Deepest apologies. And then output should be mix it up overlay. There we go. Save. Now that sad horn was deserved. That was me fucking it up. Okay, so the interesting thing here is that whoever keeps doing that, it is working. It is debiting the amount from your account, but it's not translating the target user variable correctly. And that is fucking bizarre. Why would it? It's like it's yeah, well, Segfault, I don't have any choices, and also this is funny. We're just fucking around here. Like, you can engage with it or not, but like this is what we're doing over here. Anyway, yeah, it's some split brain shit. I'm gonna have to what is this? This is an hour and 3 minutes, so about an hour and 2:30. 1:02:30 into VOD. Target user ratio. Okay, we're going to make a note about that. So I'll have to open a. Well, that's the thing is as far as I can tell. Okay, so I don't think this is affecting anyone. I don't think this is affecting anything other than the display name, and it also isn't affecting commands triggered from chat itself, as far as I know. Yeah, we don't have piss anymore. Piss was from the old bot. And yeah, that's the other thing is I do have it set up so that if it whatever. Anyway. The point is that this is a really complicated thing I'm trying to do, and the fact it works at all is wild. So it's going to have some edge cases, but basically, I can't have something that's as robust as Twitch because you just need support from the provider end for that. So what I've built here is a half-ass thing as a joke. Piss should make the screen have a yellow tint. That's probably true. And I guess it could also play the pissing noise from Duke Nukem 3D. That would probably, with the much better at the end. That would probably be valid. Oh, by the way, I fixed the issue with the I fixed the issue with the super chats with the TTS not coming out on the right input. So one thing I've been doing since I started streaming, well, there's been some changes here and there, but one thing that I've been doing more or less since I started streaming is just doing audio by straight up just capturing the whole system audio situation. And the problem with that is that CDI games, that's actually possible. I can actually have it overlay a full screen, partially translucent image, and then every time somebody adds another one, it would add a little bit more. So that is very doable. God damn it. That's really funny. Yeah, that's really funny. I might implement that. Anyway, okay, here we go. Okay, yeah.
Panus.
I wasn't ready for that. Panus. All right, here we go.
Piss.
Oh, that's the oops. I also need to modify the. Okay, so what I was going to say is I've always been operating by just capturing the system audio, and there's a couple issues with that. First off, if you can get stuff you didn't intend, if I make a Discord call by accident or something like that, you're going to hear that. If I have something stupid in a YouTube video or some porn or whatever, then any of that could make it into the stream, and obviously I don't want to do that. But there's also issues with. That piss voice was really funny. Piss. But there's also just technical issues as far as. So this is something I see happen a lot on other. Yeah, I fixed the jingle. It'll work on the next one. I'm talking about how I fixed it just now, actually. Something I've seen on a lot of other streamers. Well, not a lot, but a few other. Because I don't really watch any other streamers except for Dino. But the thing I've seen on other streamers' videos is. Their redeem sounds or their soundboard will be affected by the global system volume because they're just having those sounds play out of their speakers and then capturing the normal audio. And so if you have a game that's really loud and you turn it down, it's going to affect your redeems and whatnot as well. You don't want that. You want them to always be at the same level no matter what, just as your microphone input is. And so it'd be really nice if OBS had buses for this purpose, but that's probably not going to happen for a while.
Fox noises 3.
I love how it just said 3. Just 3. Not colon 3. Anyway, so yeah, let me close that. If you play your soundboards and whatnot through the primary output, then you're always going to run into this issue. Now, there are problems with for instance, oh my God, here we go.
CL4EIMGL at IGNGLE as IPIs.
That was horrible. Please don't do it again. just that would save us a lot of trouble here, right? Anyway, so it turns out that Mix It Up has a feature where you can tell any given audio clip that you're playing to play through the browser source that you embed in OBS to get overlays, right? So that's what I'm doing now, and that means I don't have to monitor the system audio anymore. So if I start a game, for instance, if it's a capture card, then I'm just going to get the audio from the capture card. If it's in a emulator, DOS box, whatever, I'm going to point it at the window, and OBS is now capable of capturing the audio from the window, and that seems to work fairly reliably these days. And so that means that I no longer need to capture the system audio at all. It has the downside that I do have to do some interesting things with regards to how the audio is routed to the browser source and back out. So I have the browser source being monitored in OBS now, so that's how I can hear it. And that means that OBS can play it louder for you than it does for me. It could be affected by my local system volume, but it's not going to be... basically my local system volume only affects me now, which is what I wanted in the first place. Now, a better way to do this would be to leave the local system volume maxed at all times and then use a knob on an external amplifier for my own personal comfort. But whatever, this is what I did. The trouble comes, well, as you just saw, when the sound isn't loud enough, you can't turn it up. And so now we have a little bit of a problem. And so I think to solve that, I think what I need, because I'm not really sure why the sound is coming through so quiet. It really shouldn't be. That sound is very loud. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm sorry. I think I played the wrong... Oh, no. I looked at the wrong wave file. I don't think it is actually that loud. Oh, yeah. Okay. No, never mind. I was looking at the wrong wave file. So let me just amplify this, and then I will re-import it. Amplify. Okay. And then let me play this back, make sure it's not clipped. Okay, there we go. Because I can always turn it down, but I can't make... Again, I don't blame anyone, okay? I don't blame anyone for not doing this because it is a huge pain in the ass. But it is frustrating that so few apps allow you to amplify audio. You can turn it down, but you can't turn it up. And I think the reason for that is that it is actually a technically more complex thing to do with a lot more edge cases and whatnot to worry about. So basically, yeah, I don't blame them for not doing it. But it does mean that I have to pre-process any files that I use this way. That's fine though. All right, I'm gonna run a test donate here. Hopefully this isn't too loud. There we go.
Test message.
Test message. All right. Oh, that's a lot better. To wit, and I'm just going to brown nose mix it up some more here. I am extremely pleased with like, I mean, you've seen like just, you know, the amount of flexibility I've been able to apply, you know, right here and now, right? There are ways in which I wish it were different, but there are ways that would make it worse for other people. And I think that as, you know, striking a balance of like, it's got a bit of a learning curve because you can sort of program the thing, but it's this visual. Oh, here we go.
The dragon noises are dergening in rare.
Okay, there. Yeah, that is very much a furry dragon post right there. God damn it. But yeah, so like Mix It Up has some limitations that come down to the fact that it has to have a visual interface for everything, because that's what, you know, I think most people are going to want and what they're going to, you know, understand best. But boy, howdy, do I wish it were just a, you know, at times I wish it were just wired up to a pilot, you know, just a Python interpreter, right? They have a little bit of that, but it isn't nearly as flexible as I'd like. And again, I don't blame them for that. That's a really fucking hard thing to implement. But anyway, the point is that as I was saying earlier, the way that all this works is a big convoluted mess where basically, you know, when you send a redeem, when you click the redeem button on my server, what it does is it looks in the database, it makes sure your UUID is valid. Then it sends the redeem over to Mix It Up, and then Mix It Up plays it on my PC, and then has Clive say a message in chat to acknowledge it. So it's a big mess of shit that's going on, and removing the chat component from it so it doesn't have to monitor chat would actually make things a lot simpler, though not as simple as I'd like, because again, there's some limitations to this program due to it not being like a generalized programming environment. So anyway, add some FTP servers and XML files, and it'll be an enterprise application. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what's going to fix this? What's going to make this way better is we just put an FTP server. We put an FTP server up here, and then down here we've got a Microsoft SQL database, and then there is a scheduled task in Windows. Every 4 hours, it takes the contents of the SQL database, cooks it into a CSV file, and uploads it to the server. And on the server, there's a script that runs every 4 hours and 10 minutes, which then digests that CSV file and shoves it into a PostgreSQL server, changing all, manually converting all the data types in the process. And so if it takes more than 10 minutes for this to transfer, then it takes another 4 hours for the data to update. That's going to fix it. Yeah, we love to have state. I will say this, that like all things considered, this is something, I think it's just diagrams.net. Oh yeah, absolutely, Cyril. Yes. If you know, you know. Everyone who's seen this shit happen, like the 1,000-yard stare just comes right out. Like, oh, I've seen databases on fire off the shoulder of Orion. Oh, what do we got? Oh, thank you, RetroSwim.
Here is 5 Aussie dollars. Gaiden streams are a wonderful indulgence. Love your work.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, man. I gotta say, I want to be clear. I bashed this entire system together yesterday in about 5 hours. Everything you're looking at did not exist before yesterday at 9 p.m. I was working on this till 3:30 in the morning, and I hit save, and then I got up in the morning. I hit the button and saw it send through the first webhook, and then I went to bed. And so everything else I've done since then, adding the buttons for triggering different ones and whatnot, I had to do that all this morning and afternoon. And so this is like the beta alpha pre-release version, right? Oh my God.
Sorry for interrupting. I'm ordering Domino's and they have a deal for $5 medium pizzas pickup only, and needed to know if you wanted a pep and sausage.
The pickup only is what makes it. That's what makes it. The fact you included the pickup only clause. That's what brings it home. Yeah, no, so what it is that the super chat. Oh, weird. Hey, you know what? You're right. It is rewarding multiple tiers. Oh, holy hell. This might explain a bug that I was running into the other day where I thought that it was like summing up multiple people and rewarding them simultaneously. But I wonder if the tier value actually counts multiple times. That doesn't make any sense. Well, here, let's see. So that would be tiers 3 and 4. That doesn't make sense. Huh. Thanks for support. Please enjoy your 1,024. Okay, let me look at the Oh, you know what? I forgot. I was working with the devs on this problem, and I actually wrote out I had it start writing out a diagnostic log. let me look at this log file here. That's what we're doing here on the channel. So it interesting. Yeah, I think maybe it is rewarding multiple tiers simultaneously because 17,920 is your new balance minus 14,848 is 3,072. So it really did give you 2 tiers worth of rewards, which really? But I don't understand because I have I mean, I guess I could put some break commands in here to ensure that didn't happen. But what if $ tier equals 1? Oh God, could the comparator here? Could the equals operator actually work? Okay, you know what? Nobody donate anymore. Yeah, nobody donate anymore until I fix this. But well, fix is a strong term. I'm going to put in a command to tell it to break after each one of these, because this may actually be like a switch case fall through problem, which is interesting because I didn't think that that's how this particular command was procced. But what do I know? So we do the consumables, and then we'll do command add. Oh, where'd it go? Add. Oh boy, I don't like that. Exit current command. Okay, break. Did I? No? Okay. All right. Command. Exit current command. Almost done. And then if it's larger than that, then yeah, okay. Oh my God. I do love the, again, extremely bougie experience of everyone, please stop sending me free money for jokes. I have to do diagnostics. Okay. What are we calling Zaw? Yeah, fucking Zaw is such a forced meme. Okay. If anybody has $5 to spend, by the way, I don't have a way to synthesize a super chat properly. I can send a super chat event, but it doesn't seem to behave the same as when it's a real one coming from the server. So, unfortunately, I have to impose on someone to send me $5 to test this. I wish I could at least spend. I wish there was at least a way for me to do it myself, but you can't super chat your own shit. I'd have to log in with a separate account. Blah 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 blah. Okay, now that was $4.99, so it's probably not going to trigger. Let's see. Oh God. Oh, it got interrupted. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Well, it's not doubling. At least there's that. Oh, but that was £5. I don't know if that counts because the tier might be here. Hang on a second. £5 to USD. That might not hit the tier limit. Oh, well, it's 666, which is very funny. Okay, well, that'll do it.
Compo Oper.
Okay. Now, is it going to give you anything for that? Okay, so this is another issue I've been running into, is I think that sometimes it just misses these entirely. Let me check the, yeah, you get nothing. There's your exchange rate. Let me look at my event queue here. Dashboard. Sorry, that was Crim Kingson. I will manually provide you with the reimbursement. Yeah. So, so I have a theory. I have a theory that what's going on here is that the here, hang on a second. First off, let me give you your desired. Here we go. Let me remember the way this command works. I think it's that would be what, 24. Let's just say it's 4096 because I don't fucking remember. I think that's the command. Yeah. There you go. Enjoy your kilobytes. Enjoy your megs, actually. So the way that this works, let me Let me pull up the event here. Let me show you, in case you're curious, etc. Let me show you how this thing does its thing. And then yeah, at some later date I'll figure out the fucking Emma bug. Oh, that's so wacky. That's so wacky. Shit. All right, so the way this program works is it uses a visual command builder that's sort of you know, like I said, it's kind of, it's appropriate to what they're doing, but it does mean that like things that would be very easy to do in just plain code get more complicated. So for the super chats, for instance, I've got a couple of file writer. These are for writing out the log lines, so I can diagnose what's going on with this thing. But basically, this generates the overlay. So this is what actually puts the window on the overlay browser view. So that just substitutes in all the variables, and I've got some HTML and some CSS designed for that. This one here plays the sound. And I was saying earlier that it plays it through the overlay. So there's this. If you pick audio output device, you can pick any of your real sound cards. So you could use virtual audio cable for this if you wanted. But here we're using the overlay player. Then, however, we have all of these ifs. And each one of these is supposed to check which tier the dono was at, right? So as you can see, I'm doing if tier equals 1, then we give 256 bits, and then we write a, well, technically it's kilobytes rather than bits. Then we write out the message, and then we have I just put this break statement here, which causes it to exit the current command and stop executing. And we repeat for each of these remaining ones. Now, I didn't have those break statements in there originally, so it was the case that it would perform these actions, and then it would fall through to if equals 2, and do those ones. Oh, I just realized actually, in fact, that's why the text-to-speech isn't playing out anymore, is because those break statements are, well, breaking it. Okay, so to fix that, oh shit, oopsie. Oh, God, yeah, the break statements are keeping it. So if it triggers on 1, it's never going to make it to the text-to-speech, and it's never going to make it to writing out the log. I've just realized this. And again, were this a real programming language, we wouldn't have that problem because we'd be able to have more tailored options for flow control. But yeah. So anyway, I can put the TTS back there. The problem basically comes down to it'll read the text speech. It's gonna. So this wait is here because otherwise it plays the sound and it doesn't wait for the sound to be over. And so it plays the sound, waits 3 seconds, then it does the text to speech, right? And so if I put this up there, then it's going to wait 3 seconds before it gives you your reimbursement, which is just a little uncomfortable. The other thing, though, is just that this shouldn't be necessary. So the question is, why does it need a break? Because if we check if it's equals 1, then it shouldn't proceed on and validate on 2, but it sure looked like it was. Now, one possibility is that I misread the documentation. So let me go to Mix It Up's wiki. It's actually, I don't think it's a wiki. I think it's a real website. Mix It Up Super Chat. Okay. Event commands. Okay, let's go down to the Super Chat section here and see. Oh, come on. Where is it? Here we are. Okay. So this should define, yeah. So one thing I will point out is that the way that tier command works is weird, because the tier is not defined on my end. It is defined by YouTube. So they're sending a value to me. I'm not defining it myself. Now, I am able to do that. I could stop checking against tier and instead check against amount. The reason I didn't is because the tier seemed like it simplified things. But if there's bizarre logic going on where like tier equals like will because it could be that the program goes, oh, if it's tier 4, then that equals 2 for the purposes of permissions type, not permissions, but like, you get what I'm saying? There is no go-to command, unfortunately. As far as I know, let me double check. God, could there be? Well, so wait, there's a group command. What does that do? No, that would not do it. Let me check. Do we have anything else in here? I don't think so. There's pretty much no flow control statements other than the conditional statement. But yeah, like there's a lot of behavior built into this program that like you would not want as a programmer, but it's probably appropriate to the target audience. And so I think the fact that I'm trying to use it like a programmer is the issue. Anyway, for what it's worth, though, what I was going to say is the YouTube tier system is broken, like supposedly it is roughly broken into amounts of $2, $5, $10, $20, $50, $100, and similar. And the trouble is that we don't actually know the numbers. I don't think that that's defined, and so I don't know that I even necessarily want to continue using this approach. I think it might be better to just do it in terms of because the other problem is that I don't know how they're doing currency conversion. And yeah, so they send me the amount, but it's not been converted to USD. And so yeah, that's the problem. If somebody sends me 500 yen, that's going to come through as $500 if I treat the amount value as just bucks, right? So that's not going to work, and I can't do the conversion myself. YouTube, I think, is doing the conversion for me, but I don't know what the yeah. So exactly, Cyril, precisely. That's what I need to do is build it in terms of a stack of nested conditionals. It sucks that I have to do it that way, but it's also, it's what we're doing here is very much like a post-apocalyptic survival sort of scenario where we're here in a nightmare scenario where nothing is as it should be, and the trick is what can you make out of a burned down building's rubble combined with like a broken Volkswagen Rabbit and like 17 condoms, right? That's all you have, right? And so oh, okay. So holy shit. Wait, so you're saying the donation slider stops 1 penny short of the tier values? Holy hell. Great website, very normal. Okay, well, the point is that we've encountered a number of problems here that are definitely coming down to a combination of weirdness in the program that's maybe unexamined code that they haven't had a chance to look at because it's like 3 people working really hard on what I think is a fairly popular app, though I can't be sure, combined with the YouTube service being shit. So, their $4.99 showed up at the $5 tier color. Yeah, but I can't imagine that would be. Look, I don't know. I don't want to. I don't have a way to write code inside this program that would reasonably deal with the with the currency conversion issue. And I guess maybe the solution there is fucking don't. Just like give the rewards manually or don't give them at all. Because that's the thing. I will say this, that right now. Maybe I just don't want there to be rewards for super chats anyway, because for one thing, that does create an implicit quid pro quo that I think most people here are not going to take seriously. But there is that scenario where somebody is mad that they spent 5 of their real actual dollars and then didn't get their TTS redeem. And while I think if that person is here, sorry, you've misapprehended what stream you're in. Okay, I don't take any of this that seriously. If you give me money, it's because you like me. That's the only reason you should be doing it. It should not be in exchange for anything because I am not reliable enough to deliver squat. Okay, have you looked at my upload schedule? And if not, why are you here if you don't know me from my YouTube? I have no idea. But my point is that, like, if I just remove the fucking rewards, then wham bam, that fixes everything. I think that just solves all the problems because I'll tell you that, like, Patreon got a hell of a lot simpler for me once I took away all the rewards. I don't promise anything anymore, and I think it's absolutely the right call because I just found those stressful. I couldn't even get myself to mail a fucking cat picture once a month. It's just like every single time it happened, it felt like it had been 3 years since the last time it happened. And then I was instantly overwhelmed and flustered, and so I just stopped doing it. And no one seems to care, and I doubt they ever did. So that's the thing is, like, you know, I much prefer the Mario Party approach, right? Where I just do this, and now everybody in chat just has an extra 4 megabytes, right? There, it's all bullshit. It's Monopoly money. It's fucking fake. There's no quid pro quo here, all right? That's the takeaway here is there's no quid pro quo. And building any sort of system that would imply that is just shooting myself in the foot. So I'm just not going to do it. Problem solved. There is no longer any reimbursement. It's fucking fantastic, right? I do like that, and I mean, to wit, the fact that Mix It Up comes with a command that just gives everyone the same amount of money. And you get 4 megs, and you get 4 megs, and if you look under your chairs, if everybody just look under your seats right now, you're going to find 4 megs down there. Nope, there's permissions on that one, Druid. Oh God, swap off is really funny. It just immediately zeroes everyone. That would be fucking great. That would rule. But no, like, honestly, the primary reason that I added the memory system in the first place is just to rate limit people. Because y'all were being unreasonable with the redeems I had before. that didn't cost anything. So, the other thing I should another thing I should point out about how this works, it is so fucking broken on YouTube because my understanding, and I don't know if I fully trust this, the now playing thing was fucking hilarious, but I just needed it to slow down a little bit so that we could actually see the jokes before they disappeared. Anyway, shit, what was I gonna say? Oh, right. From what I've been told, and I got to be honest that I don't know that I believe this to be as true as people say it is. If you are talking to the Discord API, you can ask it who's in chat, and it will tell you, like authoritatively. Now, this is not true for YouTube. YouTube cannot give you a hard list of who's chatting. It doesn't even try. In fact, it's not even supposed to. Like, there's not supposed to be an API for that. Instead, the only way that Mix It Up knows that you are here is by seeing your messages in chat. So the way that this currently works, because they were prepared for this, I think. The way this currently works is every time one of you talks, you're bumping a timer back up to like 10 minutes or something like that. And then that timer slowly slowly winds down. And if I don't see a message from you for 10 minutes, then you stop earning currency. The rest of the time, you get 1 megabyte per hour, which I think is pretty reasonable. But because there's no way to tell when you leave, if you show up, like if I don't use this feature, right, then when you join, if you say one word in chat and then leave, and then the video, then the stream runs for another 5 hours, you'll earn 5 megabytes worth of points. So it occurred to me that, you know, okay, this does it's not so much that it encourages participation in my case, because again, I only have this as a fucking in-joke between my regulars. But it is true that sorry, hang on a second. That's an interesting point. Why does Curiouser only have 3072 if I just gave everybody 4096? Does it only give it to active participants? I wonder if I've reset it since the last time you said something, so it didn't realize you were in the chat at all. Let me go over and take a look at Yeah. Okay. I think that is the case. Um, but what I was going to say is that if hang on, consumables, yep, must be present. That's the problem. So, oh wait, no, that's on upgrade. I'm sorry. I wanted to do swap on. That's the one. Let's just verify. Add to all chat users. Okay. So actually, that is funny, Tony B. I'm gonna have to investigate that. Um, add to all chat users. So I guess there isn't a way to set this up so it'll add to all users in the entire system, which is interesting. Like, because this, so somebody pointed out earlier, they somebody pointed out earlier, like, oh, we still have kilobytes. I guess it must be NVRAM. Yeah. So what Mix It Up does is it maintains a local database that remembers everyone who has ever spoken in chat. So like I'm looking at it right now, and there's a list of it's got to be 300 or 400 people, many of which are not here today, right? But I still have their balances, and I have the record of how long they've been watching, theoretically, right? So, for instance, for me, it says I have been watching for 864 minutes because I've been doing a bunch of test streams, so I have even more time than anybody else. Um, but so when you leave and come back, it will remember your balance, but it's not going to recognize that you're in chat until you say something, and it's not going to start giving you more bits, bytes, kilobytes, until you say something at least once every. I think maybe 10 minutes is a bit harsh. I think I'd like to back that off to maybe 30 minutes because we don't have a super fast chat here, and I don't want to push anybody. Not that it's particularly important, right? I mean, this is not something anyone cares about that much, I'm sure. But the point is that like if I'm going to have a system at all, it should be in some way sensible. Um, and I mean, as long as you like, let me think about this for a second. You know what I just realized though? Oh, that's an interesting question. Huh. I just realized there's a question about how this works. I'm looking at this dialogue, and it says that the acquisition rate for this currency is 1024 per 60 minutes, right? So every hour you get 1024K. And I know that it's not dividing it, it really is incrementing it every hour because nobody has an odd number of kilobytes. So everybody is only getting these on the hour. The question is, A, is it on the hour? Or is it in terms of how long you've been seeing the channel? And then also, it has a field in here called minimum channel activity. It's measured in minutes. If I set that to 30, does that mean that you will never earn anything? Because if it only increments it once per hour, if you don't talk for a half an hour, well, you'd have to do it in the back half of. If it measures it, if it does it at the top of the hour, right? If it does it every 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, which I'm sure is not how that works. But the point is, if it does it unanchored from your local time, then as long as you said something in the back half of each hour, you'd be good. But if it does it based on your length of time in chat, then I don't think you could ever actually make it to. Yeah, I don't know. Well, let me see what it says. Let me see what it says in the documentation. Okay. So you have the ability to set how long a user can be inactive before they stop receiving currency. Oh, if your currency resets on a specific. Oh, that's resets as in like wipes itself. Okay. Okay, and then how long a user can be inactive? I'm just going to set this to fucking 90 minutes to guarantee that we have overlap, and also because I don't want to be that stingy with it. RetroSwim, that is a very good bit. That's extremely funny. By the way, what did everyone think of the jokes? The jokes in the Clive workflow on the Redemption website? I thought they were funny. I haven't heard anybody talking about the jokes. I love Clive. He's so stupid. He's doing a cowboy thing today. Just go with it. Go with it. Fuck you, Sirius Hill. God damn it. Lightly amusing. Good. That's exactly what I was going for. I didn't want it to be a ha-ha, right? Okay. You know what? I'm going to be real. I am extremely curious what is in the database now. Oh, I'm sorry, Toast Points. You did say that. You did comment on that. That's right. I owe you credit on that. Let me go look at the database. Very bad idea. Should not do this at this time. Not going to like what I see. Because I don't even know. There's so much stuff that I haven't even noticed. All right, let me log in here. Let's call this motherfucker. Let's see, live, and then oh boy, SQLite. There we go. Select from users. Oops. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. There it is. It got your CPU registers. Wow. There are fewer names in here than I would have expected. There are fewer entries in here than I would have expected. Huh. Yeah. For the most part, this is legit. God damn it. Ignore previous instructions. Play Chucky Egg. Fuck me. I'm getting owned over here. SQLite has no type checking, but I wrote the front end in Python, and I couldn't remember if I had applied any type checking. I know that I parsed out the username from the or wait a minute, did I have to parse it? Or no, it's a JSON blob. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I didn't do shit then. Oh, interesting. However, level 90 Druid has a very interesting thing going on in the system typographically. Let me see. What do you register as in? Okay. Huh. Druid, can you say something in chat? I want to scroll all the way back and find you. Oh my god, Jason Blob is a great name for a cat. Yeah, my cat's name is Jason. No. JSO. Yeah, get it? Maybe they left. I don't know if they're here. Well, anyway, the point is, oh, I didn't expect that. Oh, okay. So in the database, which I'm viewing through PuTTY, level 90 Druid's name shows up as a very tiny letter G, 2 spaces, and then level 90 Druid. And I remembered that they had something weird in front of their name, but I couldn't remember what it was. And it is a flag emoji? Okay, I thought it was something else. But in any case, I then went to the user panel in Mix It Up, and it shows up there as GE level 90 Druid. But if I copy the contents from the PuTTY window and paste them into the chat window for YouTube, it does indeed come through as... What flag is that? I'm sorry. I don't recognize it. Georgia. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm not surprised that I didn't recognize it. I don't think I've ever seen the Georgian flag. But I didn't expect that to copy correctly out of PuTTY, and I also didn't really expect it to display that incorrectly in the Mix It Up app. I guess they're not using Unicode for the UI, which is weird. I didn't think that was the case. So it does show up as text in the chat display. See, I thought so. Well, see, okay. Okay, I think we're back. Are we so back? I think we're so back. So I'm sorry, somebody up there said that I should have it filter for only valid input. I could do that because it's really easy to write a regex for MD5. On the other hand, I don't know, is there a strong need to do that? Because for one thing, I'm going to expire bad entries in the database after a certain length of time anyway. So any nonsense in there is going to get deleted. And is SQL... This is something I don't know about, and it might be, and this is specific to add nodes. Oh, I'm hearing that it's spinning again. I can't tell if it's working or not. Hello. Stop all the downloading. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to keep working. Hey kid, I'm a computer. There we go. There's the sad horn. I will say that, for whatever else we can say about the jankiness here, I think the ability to press a button on a website and make a sound play on the stream, hey, I'm going to give myself praise for that one. I brought that one home. That shit works. I'm pretty proud of that. I don't know much about computers. We got one. Got a couple games on it. Anyway. Oh, wait. That says there was a cat jam redeem, but it didn't happen. You've been denied. Well, anyway. I have no idea what was going on with YouTube there. I don't know if that was an issue with my connection or what. I'm not sure what that was about. So creepy. Am I flooding out my YouTube connection with terrible API calls? I don't think so. Oh. I am. Okay, well, I don't know if y'all call that good stream, because, yeah, it looks to be the feeling.